We know what Big Pizza can do in Haven, but everybody knows what Spot Up can do on these 3 maps. We're headed into the pistol round. We're in the map. It's Ascent here, ladies and gentlemen, and Big Pizza will be starting on this attacking side.
Yes, sir. Big Pizza, and this was their selection too. Picking out the attacker side on Ascent first. I mean, that has to be some sort of a confidence pick. I mean, because we've seen in the past before with a couple of teams that they want to end up countering. It's like Dust 2 in CS. Sometimes you want to pick up the attacker side purely to get yourself that little, at least a little bit of a kip up in the first half. Even if you know that you're not exactly going to win out most of the first half, you at least have some sort of cushion to fall back on the second half. And again, like I mentioned, Big Pizza on Bind. Spot Up's actually going to be on the defender side for that. Haven for the third map, Spot Up being on defender for that one too. So it's relatively normal, other than this map, of course. Like I mentioned, Spot Up, they're very much an individualistic fragging team. So I'm very excited to see what a couple of these players could pull off once again, especially after a successful weekend this weekend.
Oh, and we've already got our first kill down Catwalk. Kanpeki takes down Ned. The thing with Big Pizza and the thing with Ascent in general is you've got to try and work out mid, but as Kanpeki lines up 3 for himself, it's a shooting gallery down Catwalk. And it is catastrophe here for Big Pizza in the pistol round. Rustun will find himself another, and Kanpeki, he's on the hunt for a 4th there, and he will get his 4th. Easy enough for Spot Up. The pistol round is slight, and I feel like that's going to set the tone for this map at least. Big Pizza don't get a single kill. They do take 2 players though, but that's not enough to kill them, is it? Spot Up, first round, easy enough. No players lost, and they'll carry the Ghosts and the Classics into this round, but they will have slight upgrades made, Gus.
Yes, sir. That's all they really need to pull. Nothing too large. They just need to keep their economy stable, and at least that round, whenever we talk about a whole team, we want to talk about, you know, really the whole squad having some sort of success. But yeah, no, at that point it was just Kanpeki just holding down mid the entire time. What an absolute legend. And at least in this round, of course it's Figment. Of course it's Figment. Aries in the front lines just banging it through the wall. Again, this method made famous nowadays by Sinatra, by Infamous.
Ooh.
Formerly of Mamba Mode Gaming, but here comes the actual take. Rustun finishes off 1 player, and now Figment on the front lines again with the Aries, trying to find himself 4 here, but Rustun chimes in on that last player. Big round from Figment, Big Pizza. They didn't have too many aspirations in that round, period, but Spot Up, a good start, 2-0 without dropping really any players, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, not a singular one.
None. So for any of you who have been living under a rock for the past week and a half, you might not know who Rustun is exactly for Spot Up. He's the replacement for Kai, who I believe was removed from the roster due to some complications. But Rustun, he's a guy that's kind of grown on me. We saw him in the closed qualifiers of the Knights Gauntlet. I was very concerned at his performance, but in the later stages and through the open qualifiers when they did find themselves a spot, they've played on Ascent before. They played against Poggers, a 5-man roster, just absolute gods. So, I mean, Rustun, he slots really well into this team, and the main adjustment I have to say from Rustun is his style on this B site. From the get-go, what he wanted to do is he would always just be that guy, sit back in the back of Boathouse, let his utility kind of do all the work. He wouldn't really be able to pop off, but now you'll see Rustun get aggressive as a Cypher on this B site. He wants to take fights, and with 2 Info players, or 2 Info agents on this B site, it creates so many opportunities to create interesting plays as already Kanpeki. He's trying to create something interesting down mid, and he's just barely alive as an opportunity to TP away as well, but he will drop the smoke for a safe coverage, and even then he wants to continue to aggress.
Yes, sir. Kanpeki's already been a menace thus far in this cat area, but again, 58 HP, might as well just have to back out. Purely for his teammates, and not only that, but purely for the take. Multiple players heading up towards mid. It's going to be a B split between Garage and Short at least. Let's see what goes down, because you have Rustun around the corner. Still, if that goes from the last round, no approach whatsoever. No pixels being shown for the defenders. They're just holding down the site. And finally, we get some interaction. Nanners in the backlines take down Kanpeki. Still in the backlines, it's going to be Aries. Figment stepping up. There you go. Tucker still with the Spectre too. 1 last player remaining, and it's going to be ToastyUnicorns. But time has ran out. Again, ToastyUnicorns somehow needs to pull off a 1v3, multiple people to try to frag, and it's simply not going to happen. Man, at least in that round, I was anticipating a little bit more what would have been antsiness from Big Pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, they were already running out of time. By the time they ended up wanting to make the split, it was already 30, 40 seconds remaining, and then they start going on site. They're still fishing for picks. That's the last thing that you should be doing, at least on that B site, because of how many angles that you have to clear. You have to get there quick. Yes, you want to clear out both huts. Yes, you want to clear out short, but that site is the most important part.
Yeah, I mean, you had Rustun on the right side, and I mean, you just couldn't flush that man out. He only had a ghost, and he still did his job perfect. Tucker, a great Boomba. There's so many players there, and it's a lineup for Tucker. He's found 3. Kanpeki knows what the last 2 are, to be exact, and they're both so low. Nanners, he at least gets the ult arm, but there's nothing left for him. A great setup there. Bunny goes in as the Jet, draws the attention away, and it's just a clean up for the Boomba. Tucker finding himself 3 off of that play. It's spot up who find 4, but Big Pizza, the money will come back to them. A very quick round. Not much expected from the likes of Big Pizza. Only had pistols, and when you got an aggressive style like that from Spot Up, who love to go swing in A main, really playing off the back of Bunny's aggressiveness and his operator skills here on the Ascent A site, that's when things get dicey. So Big Pizza, Rifles come back on out, and Spot Up, here's their chance to make 5, or Big Pizza's chance as well to make 1.
Yes, sir. At least that round, they still had the all pivotal couple of frags off the rifles, but that recon bolt, huge for Figment. And Bunny on the front lines, of course, putting on the Heelys, zooming on away off that first pick. And now, again, so much information. And yet again, with that owl drone, they discover so many players still over towards that main area of A, and they haven't budged. 1:15 left in the round, and, well, looks like they finally realize that they don't really have a chance of making their way on A. Look at this quick rotation from Spot Up. They already have a 4-man split on this site. And of course, the one player, the Cypher, stuck over to B, just anchoring it down. Love this synergy thus far from Spot Up, but there's still a lot more work to do, a lot more Valorant to be played.
Yeah, and especially in this round, it's only 1 player lost. Yes, there's damage been done onto nedg, but that's not going to hurt them too much. That smoke, he's anticipating the cross here, but Kanpeki has got their number. First kill, scoped on in on the Vandal, and Sean, that's gifted him the ultimate. That kill gives him an opportunity as the Rolling Thunder as well. Ooh. They're using all their ultimates to get into the site, and now Bunny, this is where he starts to shine, and this is where he starts to tap heads. This time it's body shots, though, and it doesn't even matter. A 3K from Bunny, 2 from up top the heavens, and Spot Up are gifted the 5th. They funnel into the site, and it's a shooting range for Bunny as Spot Up. Simple enough, the site retake, and that's the X factor. When Bunny's got the up in heaven, they're able to work those picks, and Big Pizza just couldn't keep themselves from peeking into him.
Bunny going nuts, and he still had 2 players over towards short, just waiting out for their opportunity to actually peek out. Big Pizza walked right into that, what would have been a trap in a sense, and I mean, we haven't seen really any early picks from Big Pizza. I mean, Spot Up, they are getting more and more aggressive, starting to pug a little bit more, but they're still holding on to what would be a smidgen of discipline. What I want to see at this point from our boys in Big Pizza is at least some sort of showing that they could at least hold down mid, because they haven't taken too much control of it. They're essentially siphoning their way right into what would be a Spot Up choke point, because Spot Up really doesn't care. They're starting to get a little bit, again, puggy, but they're still maintaining an air of discipline. And I like that from them, because at this point, over towards B, I mean, usually you would have out the Jet watching over towards mid, or really anyone watching over towards mid, but they don't have a singular person there. In comes the take from the boys from Big Pizza, and again, it's a garage short split. Rustun with another one, still holding it down over towards short. Yet another one! Last person in market, and this one has to be it, as Bunny comes up from behind with the classic. Yet another clearing round for Spot Up. Again, Big Pizza, they were on an eco. Their goal that round was just to take away a couple of guns, but even then, Spot Up, great round, only a singular person going down, score is 6-0.
I love that dynamic on the B site. Figment and Rustun both just chilling. You've got great crossfires, the ability to watch an angle that maybe Rustun can't, which is look straight above. And even then, Figment's got a perfect line of sight, can watch people funnel out. The Cypher one way as well. I mean, everything was picture perfect on that B site for Spot Up. And in this round, a 6-0 lead. It was just pistols for Big Pizza. And now Spot Up, they're up against the rifles, but in the past, they hardly struggled with it. As now the Owl Drone, it does reveal their position, but they won't be able to go off of that Big Pizza. No tags yet. That might activate the Huntersphere, which it will, but thankfully it's the Jet, and it's really hard to tag a moving Jet here. It is the one. It's the second tag as well, nearly, but he does stay alive. Sean will send out a curveball momentarily as Big Pizza They are lined up side of A main, but there are 3 players here. And when Bunny's got an op press to his face, there's a chance that they're going to funnel into death. A second curveball, but Bunny still gets the kill. Here comes it taking a 3v5.
Unreal. Unreal. Still around the corner, it's Tucker. There's simply no openings for Big Pizza at all. There's just a singular person laying around that cat area. And even then towards main, spot up, they're still showing the pixels in a sense. But again, like you mentioned, they have the perfect comp at the moment. At least over towards B, sure, yes, you have a Rustun and Figment just holding down the line with what would be a mixture of just heavy artillery and util. And on A, it's just pure fraggers. They have the right util, they have the right early peaks, they're winning out all the 1v1 duels. This one's just a wash thus far, and Big Pizza, they just can't make their way through.
Oh, and it's another setup as well. Oh my god, you're giving Bunny these kills essentially. Just dashing away like it's nobody's business. Boomba goes in as well just to clear things out. It does go the wrong way actually, so that might have caused a little bit of an issue. Bunny's still in the back lines. Another! Oh, it's a collateral. They're lining up for this, man.
Oh my god.
Hopping around and he's found a 4K. Down the rabbit hole go Big Pizza and spot up. Another flawless. It was against the pistols, but I mean, how many times are you gonna challenge A? It doesn't work out when Bunny's sitting there with an op, dude. You cannot keep giving him these kills, man.
Dude, it's literally a firing range. It's like he's playing aimbots.
Seriously, I mean, they're just walking around the corner and he's being gifted. He's being gifted kills.
It's easy. It's so easy for him. People just keep walking into his crosshairs, and he just doesn't miss, Sully. That's the thing. He don't miss. He don't miss. And, well, Big Pizza, once again, they actually do have a buy in their hands, and we haven't seen a pure default from the boys in Big Pizza just yet. We haven't seen a setup from them. And at least in this round, we have a semblance of it. Spike is all the way back in their spawn. They have a lurk over towards B, even one over towards mid. Still 2 in main, 1 backing it out in terms of util. I like that setup, but, well, for now, spot up. They actually haven't had that early pick just yet. And actually, Bunny misses. Never mind. In comes an actual take.
He misses 2 shots, but he will recover at least the one into Babu. Knows at least nedg has to be there. I think he got that kill through the smoke as well, but Bunny still laser locked on his position. No way, he's missed 3 shots on a single player. Rustun will trade it back, but man, Bunny had an insane 4K in the last, but now he's struggling there, and so is Figment just a little bit, mixing up his utility just a tiny bit. Figment, it is the ultimate, the neural threat from Rustun. It tries to open things up. He himself has picked up the operator, but against 3, and they're tucked away. Multiple crossfires can be held. Nobody has to peek. You can just play off a Nanners positioning under heaven. As Figment, he's trying to flush him out, and that's the beauty of the Odin. Figment has used that a multitude of times, and it's worked out this round here. Figment and Rustun, 2 on 2. Shock Dart goes in, but he's on 2 HP. Taps the spike and is trying to bait him out into 1v1s. Molotov with a hot hand just landed on the side of Rustun. No chance. He has an opportunity to save, but even then will be caught out. Big Pizza finally nailed their first shot, but I have to contribute it to the fact that Bunny just could not hit his shots.
Have we found the X Factor, Sully? Has Bunny really been that pivotal to all of these rounds? Guy, again, like I mentioned, he's been in a firing range, and, well, from one round to another, I said that the guy does not miss, and then immediately after, he shows me out, so, looks like, again, I'm gonna have to calm down the hype train, in a sense, because, well, at least now for spot up, we see, well, not more conservative setup, to say the very least, because you still have one over towards A main, you still have Bunny in A main, peeking out early, but still holding down over in mid this time. It's a little bit of a different approach. Rustun has almost never played up mid area, never played out arches. So this is at least a good crossfire because you still have Kanpeki here for what would be an initial contact and potentially an early frag. But Figment, once again, he's still on that Odin. So it could potentially hold back this site, but in comes the actual take. Everyone from Big Pizza in A main, they go right on through.
Ooh, flash as well from Nanners now. They're kind of funneling into it. I like that setup. There it is, Figment. Finally, Odin starting to frag on out here. Tucker's rotated from the A side. It is just ToastyUnicorns, and, well, warming up to this round, it felt for Big Pizza, but the pizza is cold, and some people like cold pizza. I don't really enjoy it. ToastyUnicorns, it will go down eventually. Big Pizza, 9th round acquired for spot up, and I wanted to address the Cypher change from Russ. And yeah, it was normally when he plays the Cypher, we saw at least in that one eco where they kind of just funneled into Figment and Rustun on the B side. He sat underneath Market, so I guess he just kind of just plays Market area now. He's able to transition in. And I mean, he's got Tripwire, so it's kind of a weird adjustment to say from Rustun, and I like it. He's evolving as a player on the side of spot up. There was a time when he would right now probably have 5 kills, but he's got 11, and I'm liking Rustun a lot more. He was a coach, and clearly he can frag just as hard as his players.
Yes, sir. And I think we're seeing more coaches go back to a player position because, I mean, in CS actually, we saw Valens. No, not just CS. Valens a couple of weeks ago, I saw him play at a qualifier in a tournament here in Valorant, and actually Valens, he was just picked up for the Recon 5 Mountain Dew League team, so that'll be fun to see. And now, of course, like you mentioned, Rustun gluing in with this team. Could see what would be the return for this player. Don't really know what role he even puts up. Could be an IGL, but at this point, Big Pizza, this is a different approach for them. Everyone funneling out towards Cat, and Tucker is still nuts! My God, Tucker! Huge ace for him as he just holds it down deep towards A, and literally everyone in Big Pizza, they just keep running into his crosshairs. Yes, we saw a couple of pieces of util from Big Pizza over towards Graveyard, but none towards Sight, and they just made the job all the more easier for Tucker.
So many great plays coming out from Soft. It's a highlight reel in the making for these boys, Bunny and Tucker and Figment. And even in that pissed around Kanpeki, I mean, to be honest, it doesn't look hard at all, right? Spot up, they make it look so flawless. Tucker said now the right utility, working the site perfectly. He even had an owl drone dart on him, and the fact that he still goes unchecked, goes uncleared, just shows Big Pizza's lack or their nerves. They're not really playing like we used to see. And spot up, they're taking full advantage of that. And Tucker again, the showstopper, goes a little bit too close to the boxes. It won't be the killing blow as Bunny still operator in his hand. He will miss the shot, but he will be able to go on the heelys and dart back away. So the beauty of the jet, I guess, if you will. And spot up feels like for the first time they're actually down a man.
An early pick for once, but it's already returned back from Rustun. An early peek, and that's incredibly risky, but I mean, it's a rarity that we end up actually seeing a player or two playing around that top mid area this late into a round, but considering the fact that Big Pizza, they're just getting pushed back, at least in this round in terms of the extremities, Tucker could capitalize on yet another one over towards Cat. Well, there you go. Big Pizza now, they've been equalized back to a 3-on-3, although Rustun is already down. That's one of the solid B players, the static B players gone, and they know this. These last two, they've been playing A this entire time. But again, Tucker, he's still on the lurk, watching up the back lines, and it's Bunny's job to watch over towards Sight. Big Pizza slowly making their way in. Almost 15 seconds left in the round.
Ooh, Bunny, he's going to get smoked off, but still, he might be able to ring a shot out. The spike, it will be planted right in front, and he's gotten on the edge of the smoke. It won't connect, though, and that might be a slight issue. Figment, he's starting to arrive here. He might have the Odin in his hands. I think he had a second gun with him. But I'm hoping he's got it, because it's really great for clearing that under heaven like we've seen in the past. Bunny, operator, he's been key in retakes like this, but he no longer is a key. The lock has been shut close. A spot up. It is the last round, so they've got to go for it, but Figment and Tucker, it's difficult. Odin in his hand, and he's got to go for a spray. He has to be cheeky and try and clear something out. And Tucker, he does open up the first. Babu goes down. That's the back of the site. There is still one. They're flushing them all out here. Tucker's arrived, and Tucker's got another. Don't tell me he finds more. Position revealed, but nedg pivots around the ventilators. And Big Pizza, they have salvaged the second here, Gus. It's not a pretty half, but at least they'd be able to pull off the last of the half.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that might just be the dynamic for Big Pizza, the mentality for them even going into what would be the second half anyways. They're just like, hey, whatever rounds that we can take, we take those. As we know, at least the defender side is going to be a lot more of a cakewalk in comparison to what was the what was a charcoal type walk for the first half. So now at this point, Big Pizza, I mean, I kind of like that last setup too, considering the fact that spot up, every time that they tried to retake that A area, there would always be a lurk. There would always be an anchor from Big Pizza back towards A main. And in that time, they actually put up a 3-man crossfire on site, kind of throwing off spot up. I mean, you even saw Tucker multiple times. He was just trying to stay very wary of that short area. So, I mean, again, Good adjustment from Big Pizza, but there's still a lot more work to do. This A site, it's a triple hold, same thing as we saw from Spot Up. Let's see if Big Pizza is more successful in this take.
Oh, that's a great boom up with the hot hands, an even better response. It does a little bit of chip damage, and Sean has burned another. nedg has lined up two with that ghost, and he even gets it there, doing Kanpeki a little bit, showboating a tad, as he's on 10 HP, and he's looking for 4. He wants to do one better than Kanpeki in this pistol round. Omen against Omen. He won't find 4, but Tucker, a sliver of health. He's in the red, and surely he's no longer in the clear. Tucker will go down, an overkill if you will with the utility. The tremor goes in, and Spot Up, they do drop the pistol. The defender's side for Ascent has been the story of success for most of these teams that we've seen in almost every game of Ascent. So Big Pizza, a chance to possibly come back off of that. The momentum will start to build, and the question is, can they hold on to it? Because once Spot Up get the rifles, Gus, that's when things get a little bit shaky.
That can work, all right. Giving us a little nod.
Gelato.
Let's take a little break. So, gelato. I mean, it is a pretty warm day. Of course, I'm a Florida man down here in Orlando.
It's
so yeah,
warm.
It really is a hot day. Yeah. Hey, thank you so much to our producer, to our observer for at least this game. Of course, we have Pinecone stepping up for the entire day, pressing buttons, moving the sticks, and of course, behind the camera is going to be our boy Prius. Later on, for our next BO3, we're actually going to have Sapphire. So the dynamic observing duo tonight. For now, it's still going to be Spot Up on what is this eco, this pistol round for them, as they actually make their way towards Cat. There's still one more player on site, and it's Nanners with a ghost.
Oh, the thing is, he can get overwhelmed, but he cannot go down. No. But exactly what I said, he goes down. Kanpeki, a great paranoia as well, but he's only got a Spectre, and he's got no armor to play with. He protects his planner, peeks on over. It's the timing here, Gus. Figment, that's the intel, and that's the peek from Kanpeki. Figment, he had to get that trade immediately back, and he goes to the classic, switches to the sidearm, and despite Kanpeki's 4K, it isn't enough to pull them over the line to the second round response, but it is so close. And Big Pizza, that's 4 weapons they've got to reinvest to, Gus, and Spot Up here have a chance to break their economy with a round win.
I was about to say, although they lost, think about how efficient that round was. They got so much money back in their pockets, but not only that, but taking it away from Big Pizza. We're going to see full reinvestment from this team in terms of rifles, purely because of the fact that they want to counteract Spot Up in some way. Yesterday, we saw a little bit of a curveball from one of our teams, actually buying up, back in pistols, having actually a half buy, even though they ended up winning the first 2 rounds, but we're not going to see that. Big Pizza, they're still going to hold on what is a full buy, and both of these teams, they're incredibly fragile in terms of util, incredibly fragile in terms of economy. Spot Up, again, a big opportunity to take a big lead here going into the rest of the second half.
Oh, Sean. Trying to swing, maybe a little bit cheeky. You always try and build off of the Phoenix plays, and you have the opportunity to get aggressive, but no run it back, no second life. Nanners lop in his hand as he shuts down the Owl drone. Spot Up for now. They've lost Bunny, but there is a work up from Kanpeki. He loves to work up A mid, or at least the mid side of Ascent. He has found success here so frequently. It's kind of been the key for Spot Up in the past is let Kanpeki trying to work mid, and I mean, it really does create a lot of chaos for Big Pizza because they really don't know what site they're going to hit. When you've got that mid presence from Kanpeki, he can really just hold these lurks, he can hold the rotations, doesn't have to do much. He's just a presence, and in the back of their minds, Big Pizza, you've got to worry about Kanpeki.
Player in the back lines too, nedg, or nedg. That's such a huge end to what was the first half, but now still laying around the back lines. Again, I like this crossfire. You still will have one on the anchor. Just try and find as much info as possible. And what is this position from Babu? Love that for him, as now actually Rustun goes down to 21 HP. His spot is completely revealed. And with 15 seconds left, Spot Up, they need to make their way on site. In comes Nanners. He's in the back lines with the operator. They still have a player laying around over towards mid. He's stuck. He can't help his team actually make their way towards A. But A, it's finally cleared. And now Big Pizza, they only have Babu to work with. I tried to kind of question it at the very beginning, but in the end, you actually had what was a very efficient mid lurk. You had to pick off of it, restricting this rotation. Now Babu has to make his way around. Getting shot a little bit through the floor. Oh no. Now this crossfire is dangerous. They're going to be playing so much time. This last player in Hell, He is down on HP, but Figment still. The double swing, too. Good observation, at least from Spot Up. And Big Pizza, like I mentioned, that was a huge round, a very fragile round for them. They needed that to continue this streak and really just to push Spot Up away from match point. Not match point, map point. But at this point, Spot Up, they have a red carpet position now for 12-4.
Yeah, well, I guess the only silver lining from this map, because it does feel like Spot Up kind of have it in the bag, but you never know. I don't want to speak too soon. Spot Up, there's always a chance to let things slip out of your hands as Big Pizza. You never know. A cheeky play here or there might spark their hearts, you know, get them going, get them racing, and this B play could be what they're looking for. It's only pistols, and guess who's here to hold the line, Gus? It's Kanpeki. 5 players are starting to funnel on out. First tap, a kill. Ooh. A great trade, though, from Babu, might I add. But that does open up and reveal that the fact that there is quite literally no one on this A site. Figment kind of going a little bit overkill. Just saying things very, very cautious. He's a little bit lacking in terms of where the rest of his team is. He's got the spike, but it's a safe plant regardless. As Spot Up look to take 12 and Big Pizza, they could go for economic damage, and I think they will, but they're also going to try to win this out. Nothing to lose with pistols, and they picked up the Vandal, so this could cause some troubles as Figment, he does turn his back, and now he's got to adjust. 2 players just around the corner, and he's got to be prepared. First one, down goes Sean, the Vandal in the hands, though. They're trying to make it work in ToastyUnicorns. A critical kill as well. It draws the attention, and now Big Pizza, they actually stand a chance. Buddy's missed the shot. Toasty's got a second, and it's winnable here, Gus. 1 man standing, though, and it is down to ToastyUnicorns. He's got to get the kill. Lines it up for the 3K. 48 HP, but timer's running low. Has no idea where Rustun sits, and he's just playing passive. This is what we need to see from Rustun. Dancing around the box as he will peek out from the left side, and ToastyUnicorns, a valiant effort, but it wasn't enough. In Spot Up have got map points.
We've sung the praises for Ascent, for it being a 1v1 based map, but thus far we haven't seen too many of that. But I guess we've finally seen a little bit of that showcase. Big Pizza holding on to what would have been great trades, sticking out with each other, just good fragging. But now at this point, Big Pizza, they can't depend on that. Spot Up have a pretty good setup over towards A at the moment, but actually, never mind. You have what is the 2-man split over towards B main. That was actually really close, if I'm not mistaken. Sean, it was about to curveball all the way out mid. He was about to get a little bit spicy. Could have been picked down what would have been that 2-man split mid. But at this point, Spot Up made so much noise over towards A main, but they're not even going to approach the spot at the moment. With 1 minute left, you have all the players grouped up in mid.
Oh, Sean. He wants to create a solo play. We need to pop off Sean that we've seen in the past. Oh, no. He got a little bit antsy, and he just runs into the paint shell nades. A waste of an ult, I have to say, and he loses 50 armor as well, so that's just tragic for Sean. Kanpeki, again, find himself working up middle once more. And I like this from Spot Up. Slow and steady wins the race. Kanpeki, see what you can find out middle. You really have ToastyUnicorns doing the jump spot, and even then, he's not even going to continue it. Kanpeki's got so much room to work with, and there's 1 man here. Only one holding this B site. Babu activates the Cypher cage. It's a quick transition, though, from ToastyUnicorns. And Spot Up, they've sprung into the site. Going both ways. Down goes Babu. A 4-on-5 retake, I should say. But nedg, he's arrived off the ultimate. They've gotten the kills they were looking for. And he ults the line! Oh, my goodness, nedg. How have you done that? The ultimate TP into the back of the side. And nedg has just popped off. A 5th round for Big Pizza to keep them in this game.
He was the only person left on site off the TP too. Spot Up knew that if they even wanted a chance of having that spike down, they needed to take that singular person down. And in comparison to what Spot Up has actually been up against for the rest of this game, you would think that that task is so much lower, right? But instead, nedg stepping up to the plate. Guy spraying on in. Everyone from Spot Up just running into his crosshair. And it's yet another one of those situations where a singular fragger, where a singular rifle could do all the difference in a round. And Big Pizza, for what would have been their last chance, now has a huge opportunity to even reset. Nah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Spot Up, they've already been reset. They're back down to pistols. It's an eco for them. So now Big Pizza can at least make up a little bit more ground, but I've said this enough, Mr. Sullivan.
Don't say
There's
it.
still so much Valorant to be played.
I thought you were gonna say economic damage, which I guess
Well,
is also true. Because I mean,
That's
spot
like
up,
non-existent
it's
for
just
the rest
pistol.
of this game, though, right? Because
Yeah,
at this point,
yeah.
Big Pizza, they can't get reset. I mean, if they keep winning rounds,
true.
which they have to, I mean, that quote-unquote economic damage is still not going to go down. And
True.
I mean, also, Big Pizza lose out a round because of that quote-unquote economic damage. This game is over. So, spot up.
Yeah.
They just have to keep on rolling.
I mean, it only really applies when Big Pizza, if they continue to lose like 4 players and they always have to reinvest in the rifles because they're only getting 3K for a round victory. That's going to start to tax on them. But I mean, 6 rounds, I have to agree, the economic damage kind of becomes redundant because spot up 6 chances to close this out. Surely they don't let all 6 slip away. They've already gotten 2 so far in this half, and they were on and against the rifles. So you got to imagine they will close this out. But Big Pizza, if they continue this streak, if they continue to build momentum, this could get a little bit dicey. Rustun, aggressive in towards the B main, has been spotted, and that will send Big Pizza looking for a fight on B. 3 players here now, Gus, as they set themselves up for what could be a B-side take, but spot up, they're just backing out.
Big Pizza in comparison to what was the spot up approach to things in terms of a split. It's going to be a 3-man B hold. No awareness in market for now, or really mid-period. Just going to try to hold down this site. And again, you have ToastyUnicorns. This was Babu in this position a couple of rounds ago. Playing out a lurk in the back lines, just trying to see if there would be a flank, but it's going to be a full take from spot up over towards market. Still have a huge kill from Nanners just to hold things down, and there you go. Kanpeki thought he could be slick, but he goes down to Nanners, and it's a perfect hold from Big Pizza on this site.
Gotta love that, Big Pizza. And that's what we're talking about. Momentum, it's back in their way. 5 rounds. Oh, we've had comeback stories in the past, but surely Big Pizza, 5 chances in a row that spot up now have. What are the odds they lose all 5? It's looking a little bit more likely now as the rounds progress. Big Pizza, they find this confidence. We know Ascent is a defender-based map, and Big Pizza, they're showing us that it is a defender-sided map with everything going for them at this point in time. Pistols to play against once more. And now spot up. Can they find that economic damage? It's kind of redundant, but they will try and get something done. Nanners shuts down Bunny, a quick swing, and Nanners doesn't miss shots like that. He's found his groove and spot up. Now down to 4. They will try and find something in the form of Rustun, who will no longer be finding anything. Instead, he'll find himself a swift death as spot up last 3 alive. Doesn't seem like much is to come from this round as Big Pizza look to hold on to all 5 of these players.
Again, you have a beautiful spot from nedg. Trying to find himself what would be a couple of players, but that's a one-and-done position. No matter how you look at it. Still up top, you have Nanners just trying to play up on the shotgun op. Oh, you'll love to see it. Still Figment, who picked up the Phantom a little bit earlier off the take. Has an opportunity at a 1v3, but it's going to be Babu from behind taking him down. 4 rounds split between Big Pizza and Spot Up, but now again, Spot Up, they're going to be back on a bye. And how are they going to treat this one out, Sully? Because I mentioned this earlier for Big Pizza. We haven't seen a huge default setup for Spot Up just yet. We haven't seen insane lurks from the squad. I'm trying to see something from Spot Up other than just, you know, just trying to take it frag by frag, pick by pick, where hopefully, something would work out in the grander scheme of things. And Big Pizza, I mean, they don't really have to adjust by any means. Their hard holds on site and showing the fewest amount of pixels as possible is just working out in their favor. And Nanners pulling up to the plate, already picking up 1 off of main.
That's kind of the thing is Nanners, that you gotta find a way to abuse a breach on the operator. It's not a jet. It's not Bunny being able to dash away. You've got to be able to take him down and play off of that, which I guess they have. Realize the ops on the B side. Hey, let's go towards A. We'll work this one out. Kanpeki, again, we talk about his lurking prowess, and he's doing it in even greater capacity. There's nobody here. Nobody around for miles.
Oh my.
And they're all on this A side. Figment's got a lineup. He tags 3 players, and there's no siege. That's going to hurt a crap ton as Kanpeki, here they come. In goes the Rolling Thunder. It doesn't affect one though, and it's a massive play from Tucker. Now Kanpeki springs out from the backboards. He's waiting. He's held his trigger. He's held his tongue, and the round he will strike like the Viper that he is. One. No. Whiffed, and that's a critical mistake. How has he let that one slip? He should not have put that in there. Now it's a chance, and it's the whiff from Kanpeki.
Oh, wait a minute.
Keep Big Pizza, but never mind. A cold pizza as time is out, and we've got Spot Up winning their first map.
Oh my god.